Here we go. Walker Evans shocks on my new xp1000. Not real happy with this setup for me for my type of riding. I like to bomb the desert. I don't like it bucking and trying to push me over the steering wheel. I looked at some of this and I'm not really understanding why they've done it this way, and it's way beyond my knowledge. So I thought I'd do this little video to help some of the people that's got different thoughts on these shocks. One thing I was going to do was take that tender spring out, because it gets blocked out, so it's constantly discollapsed. After jacking up, I found out the reason for that spring and the reason you can't take it out. If you notice, you run out of thread, so you'd never be able to droop this out all the way without the spring falling out. You'd never be able to put preload on the spring by 2 inches. So this is a 17 3/4 spring. Okay. Makes me question that. Where would you find 17 3/4 springs? I mean, in American measurements, I think they would be 17s or 18s or 16s or 18s, but that half, I don't know. That's puzzling me. The top spring is a 6.5. Another puzzle. And it's just making me think that these are Asian springs, because that's the weird measurements I got on my joiner stuff. Came from China. The Chinese measure in a different increment than we do. We go in inches, they go in rice lengths. So I don't know how many grains of rice that is from there to there, but I'm going to say that this is a made in China spring. Okay, I'm hoping that all this hardware is like interchangeable with King or Fox or Walker Evans, American shocks. There's no way for me to test that right now, but this is what I did find out. You're not going to take those tenders out. Okay, the only thing that you could do with these is I would match the spring rate top and bottom, but like I say, I'm not sure of the diameter of these springs and them being 3 inch. I'm not seeing that. In fact, measuring it, it is 3 inch. Okay, so that's kind of a head start. So you could put whatever springs you want on here. The shortest main spring you're going to be able to put on, you know, like I'm showing, this is drooped out all the way. All the preload is out, and you'll see 14 inches probably the shortest I would go. I mean, you could put 2 12s, which would be 24, and run them off that collar, which I don't like to do. I mean, you could do a 14. You could put 2 14-inch shocks on here, or springs, sorry, 2 14-inch springs, and you could really play with that way. You know, a main tender setup and a collar in there. If you go with a collar, okay, you're going to have to stay with this long of a spring, because the collar is going to be, need some more hands here. The thread started 19 and a half inches. Okay, so if the collar was there and it gives it, you know, you're already in that other spring, you could maybe go a 16-inch spring. Under a 12-inch spring, or a 10-inch on top. And then you could get that cushion ride you want, but you would be able to firm up the body roll on this thing. I mean, this big old bar in here, sway bar, you shouldn't be having the body roll this thing does have. And I just think it's all on, this is the culprit right here. I was told this is a 100-pound spring, and I was told this bottom is a 200 pound. I'm having a hard time with that. I'm thinking this is more like a 300 or 350, but you know, as a guy that knows told me, and until I take this shock out, I'm going to test this spring. I'm going to see what it really is. I'm going to put it on a scale and compress it 1 inch and see what the scale says. So I'll know where I'm starting with, because I just have a hard time believing that they put a 100 over 200 on the rear of this. Maybe the front, I could buy it on the front. The front looks like about a 200, but this spring looks way heavier than that. Anyway, hope this helps all you guys that just can't leave things alone and got to F with it like I do. This thing out of the box, right out the bat, I had to have a jack just to find out why it's doing what it's doing. But the end result is it's not going to be doing that. And with this longer wheelbase, I think I'm going to be able to safely run at a higher speed through the whoops in the desert and everything else, because it's just a heavier, bigger car. So as at this point right now, it does not perform as good as my 900. And you know, that's fighting words to guys that just went out and bought 2 of these and spent 50 grand. They're not going to listen to any old man tell them, hey, look what I got, you know, my 900's better than your 1000. Part of this story right here is this 900. This 900 was kind of like Johnny Hendrix. Over there is JSP. Yeah, put a whooping on it. But this has got a lot of technology done already. A lot of testing, a lot of setup. Brett from King was really helpful. You can see the crossovers in there. You can see on the front I'm running a lower spring of 300. Okay, and look at the wire size. Okay, we're going to come in the back and you'll see 300 over 300 in the rear. But that wire size is half the size of that King wire. So I mean the Walker Evans one looks like it's about, I'm going to say that's 100 over a 350 or something spring. But like I said, I'll find out. I'll post up later. Enjoy.